Man oh man, I sure do love having a bit of me time. Just me, my PC, and endless possibilities of summer. I wonder what day it is. So, school. Where do I even start? I swear school really is the epitome of mental health decline. There is nothing worse than having the time of your life, just for it to be quickly ended by the inevitable approach of the first day back to school. All of a sudden I have to go from waking up at 12 PM to 7:30 AM. You're basically asking me to invent a cure for cancer. Once you finish the hellish 2-hour routine and commute to school, you're faced with the actual meat of the problem. The school day itself. I swear 2 minutes don't even go by and the teachers are already getting on my nerves. Talking about stuff like, you know you have to work hard this year. Like, yeah, I know. I know. If you're fortunate enough, you might get a verbal weekly schedule. But I swear, the administrators that are making these timetables are personally taking shifts for the devil. Because tell me why I don't have a single subject today that I couldn't get a STEM degree in. You know you're cooked when you walk into one of your classes and the first thing you hear is the dolphin laughs the popular kids are producing at the back. Double whammy if you have to sit near one of them. Next thing you know, they're asking you stupid questions like, we're best friends, aren't we? The day goes by, you're sitting at lunch alone. Right guys, we all do this. Am I right lads or am I right lads? And I swear, someone is activating Quicksilver when last period starts, cause that clock be ticking slower than me running on 2 hours of sleep in that valley bar. Finally, you're home. You're getting the zing making eye contact with your bed, but just as you're leaping in the air, despair washes over you. Homework. You already know who I'm paying a visit first when time travel is invented. If you didn't know, homework was originally made as punishment for those who didn't do enough work in class. Mind you, it's punishment. Nowadays a teacher will look at you like a curb stomp to a firstborn for not doing a 10,000 word essay on mice of man. As if taking 6 hours of our day wasn't enough, not including the commute to and back from school, you feel the need to occupy even more time with homework. I hate it. Shout out to all the teachers who never gave out homework. And when they did, it never took more than 10 minutes. We don't deserve you. I did just spend all this time hating on school, and if I said everything on my mind, you'd never hear the end of it. However, as it stands, right now, some aspects of the school year might be peak for me. Like for example, I have officially entered A-levels, which can only mean one thing. I never have to do English ever again. I used to pray for days like this. Although A-levels are a lot harder than GCSEs, at least I'm only doing subjects that I could actually care for in the slightest. But, not to bore you to death with my life stories, let's talk about the teachers. Man, this is the biggest hit or miss of the century. Because on one hand, you have that one teacher who's laid back, doesn't set too much homework, and most importantly, doesn't yap. Because on the other hand, you have the teacher who just can't stop talking. Like I swear, it'll be 9 in the morning and the teacher will rain down a parade of information at you like we're in an auction. Once they stop running their yapper, you're met with a 3-question homework. Oh, that doesn't sound so bad. Then you realize each question has the entire alphabet behind it. Like bro, why you gotta do this to me? And I swear these questions don't even make sense half the time. Cause tell me why you're making me rewrite notes I already wrote by answering the most basic questions to reinforce it in my mind. Like bro, that's called studying. It's clear they don't understand that homework was only meant for students who do nothing, especially those who don't take notes. I do realize this might work for some people, but it's just not for me. Another thing I hate about schools is how they try to claim you get to see your friends, socialise and hang out, but then act like they don't crucify you for asking your friend for a spare pencil in class. And half the time, these people aren't actually your real friends. They're just there because of proximity. Every year you hear the same story of high school students saying they blocked everyone off their contact list the day after graduation. Trust me, copying ChatGPT answers off of each other for homework does not mean you're friends. And how could I possibly talk about school without mentioning school uniform? Now if you're not like me and don't live in the UK, I am very jealous of you. Aside from that, you might not be familiar with having to wear a school uniform. A luxury I can only dream of having. The USA is known for having the absolute privilege of allowing students to wear whatever they want to school, with some schools having a slightly strict dress code. However, here in the UK, you are forced to buy the overpriced uniform that isn't even comfortable. Quick science lesson, did you know most of the standard school/work office clothing is composed of a material called polyester? Now, if you know anything about fast fashion and Shein, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, let me clue you in. Polyester sucks. It's horrendous for the environment, it's uncomfortable, and most of all, it messes with your hormones. Polyester is known for having negative effects on hormonal levels which causes irritation and discomfort. And I'm forced to work for 8 hours a day, 5 times a week. Like, how do you make a uniform that costs measly pennies to make out of the cheapest material, just to charge £60 for the overall outfit? They're not just scamming you of your money, they're scamming you of your hormones as well. And listen, I'm no conspiracy theorist, because I'm a conspiracy realist. It's true the government is purposely doing this to weaken the masses, making them easier to control so they can extract more money to send to Anyways, yes, one of the most underrated complaints about school is that the school day is too long. Now listen, I don't expect everyone to be a genius on my level, but I seriously think the stuff taught in these 50-minute lessons can be taken down to 25 and the same efficiency would still apply. Because when you really think about it, in school the teacher just reads stuff for you, and for a small minute amount of that time, they explain it in their own words. The rest of the learning happens at home. So why not just send us home earlier? It's way more well adjusted to the individual, since they are expected to revise at home. So why not? I'll tell you why. It's because the same people who set up the education system don't want you to have more time to yourself, to think and be your own person. They want everyone to be clumped up, constantly occupied, and the rest of the small amount of free time spent indulging in their stupid entertainment slop that does nothing but waste your time. John D. Rockefeller said he wants to make a nation of workers, not thinkers. This is the same guy who invested so much money into the school system and basically founded it, to which it became a global standard. The system in and of itself is outdated. And don't get me wrong, learning information is good, it's how you build wisdom. It's just the way the education system operates that is outdated and it's not made to suit the individual, but the other way around. I can even prove this to you. Oh, did I say I would prove it? Well, how about NASA, one of the smallest organizations in the world, proving it for me? Don't believe me? Well, NASA carried out an investigation to identify geniuses from a young age so that they can keep an eye on them and have those same geniuses work for them in the future. So when they went to their first kindergarten, they found a staggering 98% of the kids qualified to be geniuses. NASA was of course ecstatic to hear this, as they thought they hit the jackpot. And so they waited for those kids to reach the age of 10 and they retested them. This time only 30% of them still qualified to be geniuses. NASA, well, they were confused, but still, 30% is still a good amount. Then they retested them 5 years later when they were 15 years old. This time only half of them were still qualified to be geniuses, 12% to be precise. At this point NASA could clearly see there was a trend, and unfortunately for them, by the time they reached adulthood, only 2% of them still remained geniuses. So as the years go by, the kids got dumber because of school. More precisely, they lost intellectual creativity. They stopped thinking outside the box. They lost their creative intuition and only ended up with a dull-minded way of thinking. Mind you, this was carried out by NASA. That's how you know it's really difficult to doubt it. I know this spiraled into a big conspiracy realism talk, but I'm fed up with this. I can't go on much longer pretending to be okay with this dumpster fire we call an education system. I pray for better times in the future, but for now, I hope you learned something new in this video. And I really want you to rethink how reflective your grades are of your intellectual and creative brilliance. Because I can guarantee you, it's not as much as you think. Thank you for your time, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.